Let me tell you about two people I know personally. Person A earns $85,000 a year. He drives a BMW. He posts every meal on Instagram. He has a $400 gym membership that he uses mostly to take mirror photos. At every party, he brings up crypto within the first 10 minutes. He wears a watch that costs more than my first car did. Person B also earns around $85,000 a year. He drives a 2014 Honda Accord with a small dent on the passenger door that he has never fixed. He brings lunch to work in a container so old it has its own memories. He never talks about money. Not once. Person B paid off his house last year. He is 44 years old. I used to think wealth was loud. I used to think the guy with the nicest things was winning. I was completely wrong. The wealthiest people I have personally met are so quiet about money that you would never guess. And today, I am going to show you exactly what they do differently. 13 specific habits that build real wealth without drama, without luck, and without a six-figure salary. Stay until habit 13, because that one single habit, which takes 10 minutes a week, is the reason most people stay broke even when they earn good money.
Chapter 1. The Invisibility Game. Habits 1 to 3. Habit 1. Spend on assets. Stop spending on liabilities. I want to tell you about my neighbor, Derek. Derek earns $85,000 a year. Derek bought a boat 2 years ago. The boat cost $22,000. Derek financed the boat. Derek pays $380 a month on the boat loan. Derek also pays $180 a month to store the boat because he has no space for it at home. Derek has taken the boat out 4 times. 4 times. I asked Derek once why he bought it. He said, "I just wanted it." Now meet Priya. Priya is a software tester who earns roughly the same as Derek. Priya does not have a boat. Priya has been putting $400 a month into a simple index fund since she was 26 years old. She is now 34. That account has over $60,000 in it. She did not get a raise to do this. She did not win anything. She just stopped buying things that cost her money and started buying things that make her money. The habit is simple. Before you spend more than $200 on anything, ask yourself one question. Will this make me money or cost me money over the next 5 years? A boat costs you money. An index fund makes you money. A new phone loses value the second you open the box. A rental property pays you every month. This is not complicated. It is just a question most people never ask before they swipe their card. Derek is not a bad person. He just never learned to ask that question. Habit 2. Open one account you never touch. I want you to picture the most boring bank account in the world. No notifications, no app with colorful charts, no celebrating when the number goes up. Just an account sitting somewhere, doing nothing, getting slightly bigger every single month. I call mine the sleeping bear account. I put money in. I do not look at it. I do not touch it when the stock market drops and everyone on Twitter is panicking. I treat it like a plant I forgot I owned. I water it every month and leave it alone. Here is what that actually looks like in real numbers. If you put $300 a month into an index fund that returns 7% per year on average, which is below the historical average of the S&P 500, after 30 years, you will have approximately $340,000. You did not need a special account. You did not need a financial advisor. You needed $300 a month and the discipline to not touch it. $300 a month is $10 a day. That is 1 meal out. That is 2 coffees. That is a streaming service you forgot you had. The math is not exciting. Compound interest is genuinely boring to watch. Nothing happens for years and then suddenly the number is large. That is the whole trick. The people who get rich quietly understand that boring money is the best money. And if you think you cannot find $300 a month, stay with me. Habit 4 is about to show you exactly where that money is already hiding. Habit 3. Automate everything before you can spend it. Let me be honest with you about something. I do not trust myself with money in real time. I have made some genuinely bad financial decisions in the moment. I once bought a kayak at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday because the website said the sale ended at midnight. I do not kayak. I have never kayaked. The kayak lived in my hallway for 8 months before I sold it for $60 less than I paid. Present me is not responsible. Future me is very responsible. The fix I found was to make sure future me is in charge of the money before present me ever sees it. Here is how automation works in practice. On the day after my paycheck hits, automatic transfers go out immediately. Money goes to my investment account. Money goes to my emergency fund. Bills are paid automatically. By the time I actually look at my bank balance, the important work is already done. Whatever is left is mine to spend however I want. No guilt attached. Let me tell you about Carlos. Carlos is a 34-year-old PE teacher. He is not a finance person. In 2015, he set up an automatic transfer of $450 a month into a target date retirement fund through his employer. Then he changed jobs, moved cities, got busy, and completely forgot the account existed for almost 7 years. He logged in recently. The account had $61,000 in it. He told me it felt like finding money in an old coat pocket, except the coat was 7 years of doing absolutely nothing. That is the habit. Automate before you spend. Never let yourself negotiate with yourself about whether to invest this month. Remove the decision entirely.
Chapter 2. The Subtraction Billionaires. Habits 4 to 6. Habit 4. Audit your subscriptions every 90 days. Last year, I sat down and went through every single subscription charge on my bank statement. Here is what I found. I was paying for a meditation app I had used exactly twice. I was paying for a cloud storage service that stored photos of food I did not remember eating. I was paying for a streaming platform for one show that ended in 2021. And my personal favorite, I was paying for a second streaming platform I had signed up for with a different email address and completely forgotten existed. Total, $67 a month, $804 a year. That is $804 I paid for nothing. No product, no experience, no value. Just $804 quietly leaving my account every year while I was not paying attention. I want you to meet Subscription Sandra. Sandra earns $72,000 a year. She has 22 active subscriptions. She actively uses 4 of them. She cannot name the other 18 without opening her bank app. Sandra is not unusual. A 2022 survey by C+R Research found that Americans underestimate their monthly subscription spending by an average of $133 per month. Sandra is most people. Sandra might be you. Sandra might be me before I did the audit. The habit? Every 90 days, go through every subscription charge on your account. Cancel anything you have not used in 30 days. Without discussion, without I might use it soon, cancel it. You can always resubscribe. You cannot get back the money you already paid for nothing.
Habit 5. Choose boring investments over exciting ones. I need to talk to you about index funds, which is possibly the least exciting sentence I have ever said. An index fund is a fund that simply tracks the market. It buys a small piece of hundreds or thousands of companies at once. It does not try to beat the market. It just follows it. There is no exciting strategy. There is no genius fund manager making bold calls. It is the financial equivalent of a reliable Toyota Camry. Not flashy, always running, gets you where you need to go. Here is the part that should embarrass every finance professional alive. A 2022 S&P report called the SPIVA report found that over a 20-year period, more than 95% of actively managed large-cap funds in the U.S. underperformed the S&P 500 index. These are professional fund managers, people with MBA degrees from top universities, people with Bloomberg terminals and teams of analysts and decades of experience. they lost to the boring index fund. The guy at the party who is excited about his individual stock picks is almost certainly doing worse than someone who just bought a plain index fund and went to sleep. Pick boring. Pick consistent. The exciting investments make for better stories. The boring ones make for better retirements.
Habit 6. The would I cancel it test? This habit saved me from 3 very specific financial mistakes, and I want to walk you through all 3. Before I buy anything that is not essential, I ask myself, if this were a monthly subscription, would I cancel it after the first month? If the answer is yes, I do not buy it. This stopped me from buying a $300 sous vide cooking machine. I thought it would make me cook better meals at home. But when I honestly asked myself if I would pay $25 a month forever to have access to one, I knew the answer was no. I do not cook like that. I never will. It stopped me from buying a standing desk that cost $450. I would have used it for 3 weeks, gotten tired of standing, and gone back to sitting. I knew this about myself. And it stopped me from signing up for a gym membership near my office that had a 14-page cancellation contract. 14 pages for a gym, written in language I can only describe as intentionally designed to confuse you. Retest works because it forces you to be honest about your habits, not your intentions. Your intentions are always optimistic. Your habits are the truth. Before the next big purchase, ask the question. The answer will tell you everything. Chapter 3. The Long Game Characters. Habits 7 to 10. This chapter is going to introduce you to 4 real types of people. You are going to recognize at least one of them because one of them is probably you right now. Habit 7. Build one income stream that does not need you. I want to compare 2 people who both wanted extra income. Marcus is 37. He drives rideshare on Friday nights. He sells handmade wooden signs on Etsy on weekends. He does freelance video editing whenever he can find work. He makes around $1,400 extra per month. He is also exhausted. He works roughly 60 hours a week total. He has not taken a vacation in 2 years. He told me recently, I'm making more money, but I have no life to spend it on. Patricia is 39. In 2020, she spent 8 months building an online course teaching HR professionals how to use specific software tools. She charged $197 for the course. It took her evenings and weekends for most of the year. Now, that course sells between 4 and 10 times per month with no additional work from her. That is between $800 and $2,000 per month while she sleeps, watches television, or takes her kids to school. Habit 7 is not get a side hustle. Side hustles trade your time for money, which is just a second job with a better name. The habit is build one thing that can earn money without you being there. A digital product, a course, a blog with affiliate links, a small rental property, dividend stocks, anything that earns while you are not actively working. It takes more time up front. It takes real effort to build. But once it exists, it works for you permanently. Marcus trades hours for dollars. Patricia built a machine that makes dollars while she lives her life. There is a very clear difference between those 2 outcomes. Habit 8. Focus more on earning more than on cutting costs. I have to say something that most personal finance content refuses to say clearly. Cutting costs has a limit. There is only so much you can cut. At some point, you have cut everything cuttable, and you are still not building wealth fast enough because the income side of the equation has not changed. I stopped buying coffee for a year. I saved $1,200. In the same year, I negotiated my salary during a job change and made $9,000 more annually. The math was not even close. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has data showing that workers who change jobs earn between 15% and 20% more on average compared to workers who stay at the same company and wait for annual raises. Loyalty to a company is a real thing, and I understand it. But loyalty does not compound. The habit.
Spend 20% of your financial energy on reducing waste and 80% of your financial energy on increasing what comes in. Learn a skill the market pays for. Ask for a raise with data behind your request. Change jobs when the gap between what you earn and what the market pays becomes too wide to ignore. You cannot cut your way to wealth on a modest income. You have to grow the income while keeping the costs flat.
Habit 9. Treat learning like an investment with real returns. I want to tell you about Linda. Linda is 41 years old. She was an operations manager earning $52,000 a year in 2018. In January of that year, she spent $47 on an online SQL course she took on her lunch breaks over 3 months. She had no tech background. She just wanted to understand data better. 6 months after finishing the course, she applied for a data analyst role internally at her company. She got it. Her salary went to $78,000. She then spent another $120 on a more advanced data course. By 2022, she was earning $102,000. She is currently learning Python. Total spent on education since 2018, under $800. Total salary increase since 2018, $50,000 per year. That is not a special story. That is what happens when you treat skills the same way you treat financial investments. You put money and time in early, you let the returns compound, and you reinvest those returns into more skills. The habit? Identify one skill that your industry pays a premium for. Spend money to learn it this year. Not thousands of dollars. Sometimes $50 and consistent effort is enough. The best investment I have made in the last 5 years was not a stock. It was a course that made me more valuable to the market. Habit 10. Protect what you are building. I skipped this topic for years because insurance felt like a boring expense. Then, someone I know personally showed me exactly why this habit matters. A self-employed graphic designer I know, no employer, no group health plan, had an emergency appendectomy 2 years ago. 3 days in the hospital, 1 surgery, no complications, no ICU, nothing dramatic. Just a routine emergency procedure. The bill was $74,000. He had been self-employed for 4 years. He had built up around $68,000 in savings. He was genuinely proud of that number. It took him most of 4 years to save it. The hospital bill erased it in 1 night. He now has health insurance. It costs him $310 a month. He calls it the most important bill he pays. The habit? Treat insurance as part of your wealth building plan, not separate from it. Health insurance if you are self-employed. Disability insurance if your income depends entirely on your ability to work. Term life insurance if people depend on your income. And an emergency fund that is actually only for emergencies. Not for sales, not for things that spoke to your soul in a shopping app at midnight. You are building something. This habit makes sure one bad night cannot take it from you.
Chapter 4. The Identity Upgrade. Habits 11 to 13. This final chapter is different from the others. These are not financial tactics. These are the 3 mindset shifts that make all the other habits actually stick long term. Habit 11. Stop showing off wealth you don't have yet. There is an entire industry whose only job is to make you feel like you are behind. Every influencer post, every luxury unboxing video, every morning routine of a millionaire thumbnail is designed to create one specific feeling in you, that you are not enough yet, and that buying something will fix that. It will not fix that. It will make the feeling worse. I want to tell you about Raymond. Raymond is 47. He lives in a regular house in a mid-sized city. He drives a 2016 Toyota Highlander with 90,000 miles on it. He shops at normal grocery stores. He does not post about money. He does not talk about investments at dinner. Raymond is worth approximately $1.4 million in liquid assets and a paid-off home. Nobody in his daily life knows this. That is not an accident.
Raymond told me once, I stopped needing people to think I was doing well the day I actually started doing well. The habit? Catch yourself when you are spending to perform for other people. Every time you buy something primarily because of how it looks to others, you are paying money to strangers who are not thinking about you at all. Build the wealth first. The freedom that comes with it does not require an audience.
Habit 12. Decide how much is actually enough for you. Most people I talk to about money have no specific number in their head. They just want more than they have now. And when they get more, they want more than that. This is not ambition. This is a cycle with no exit point. I spent years like this. More income, higher lifestyle, same feeling of not having enough. The shift happened when I sat down and calculated a specific number, not a net worth goal, a monthly passive income number. The number that, if I hit it, means my basic needs and a comfortable life are covered without me working. For me, that number was $4,500 per month. Once I had that number, everything changed. I could calculate exactly how much I needed to invest to produce that income. I could measure my progress in real terms. I had a finish line. Research from psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton, both Nobel Prize winners, found that beyond a certain income level, more money stops meaningfully improving how happy you feel on a daily basis. What money above that level buys is not happiness. It buys freedom and options. Those are valuable, but you can plan for them specifically. The habit. This week, write down your enough number. What monthly passive income would mean you are financially free? Calculate what you would need invested to produce that. Then build toward that specific target instead of chasing a feeling. A target you can measure is a target you can actually hit. Habit 13. Spend 10 minutes every week with your money. This is the last habit. I saved it for last because it sounds too small to matter. It is not. Every Sunday evening, I spend 10 minutes reviewing my finances. Not an hour, not a full budget session. 10 minutes. I look at what came into my accounts. I look at what went out. I check that my automatic investments processed correctly. I look at my overall net worth number for about 30 seconds. Then, I close the app and go back to my evening. That is it. Here is why this matters more than almost everything else on this list. People who know where their money is make better decisions than people who avoid looking. This is not a complicated psychological theory. It is just true. When you check your money regularly, you notice problems early. You catch the subscription you forgot to cancel. You notice the spending category that crept up. You see when you are off track before it becomes a serious problem. Most financial mistakes are not dramatic decisions. They are small leaks that nobody noticed because nobody was looking. Unconscious spending is the actual enemy of wealth. Not one big bad purchase, not a single terrible decision. Just money leaving quietly, consistently, without you ever noticing, for years at a time. 10 minutes a week ends that. You do not need to become a spreadsheet person. You do not need to track every dollar. You just need to look at your accounts regularly enough that nothing surprises you. Schedule it. Put it in your calendar right now if you want to. Sunday at 8 p.m. 10 minutes. Every week. That single habit, done consistently for years, will change your financial life more than almost any other single action you can take. I want to be direct with you for the last 60 seconds of this video. The people who build real wealth before their 50s are not smarter than you. They did not have better luck. Most of them did not earn significantly more than average. They just made a small number of better decisions and repeated them for a long time. They automated before they spent. They bought assets instead of liabilities. They protected what they built. They increased their income instead of only cutting costs. They stopped spending money to impress people who were not paying attention anyway. None of these 13 habits require a high income to start. None of them require financial expertise.
Every single one of them can start this week with whatever you currently have. Do not try to do all 13 at once. Pick 2. The 2 that made you think, I should actually do that. Start with those 2. Make them automatic. Then add more. The best time to start this was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now, before you close this video and go back to your regular day without changing anything. You do not need to be loud about it. You do not need to post about it. You just need to start.